What's going on YouTube? Today we're going to do a walk around on my 2014 Honda Grom. I have a lot of goods on it, so I'll do front to back of what I've done to it. Alright, so this is my 2014 Honda Grom, OG Grom. I've had it for a few years now. This is my third Grom. Love these little bikes. By far the funnest bike I've ever had. And I've had a ton of bikes. I go through bikes like they were Skittles. So yeah, what all is done to this one is I got some, I think they're like 40% off-road, 60% on-road tires. They're not the big block Kenda tires, I think. These are Shanko tires. Also, then I got the snazzy gold levers, cheap eBay jobbies, nothing special. A lot of the stuff on this bike, yes, was bought on eBay, but whatever, I don't care. I love this bike. Nothing really on the front here. Got my sweet bell, kitty cat. Got my phone holder. Works great. This was like 12 bucks off of eBay. You go to a motorcycle shop, they want one that is similar to this. They want like $45 for it. So screw that. I'm gonna go with a cheapie. Cell phone charger, USB port. Got my cell phone wire tucked in here for whenever I need it. Got the bar end mirrors, which I need to tighten up. Pro taper grips. These are great grips. They are very grippy for grips. Very comfortable too. I'm not sure what bars are on this. It came with the bike. The funny thing is, like I said, this is my third Grom. My first Grom, I think that was also a 2014, and I got the first year, was it 2014? It might have been 13, I can't exactly remember, but it was the first year that the Grom was released in the United States. It was a black, red one. Bought it middle of winter, didn't even have 1 mile on it, and I modified the piss out of it throughout the winter, so come spring, it was heavily modified and with 0 miles. So, but yeah, I ended up trading that for a crotch rocket. Then I fixed the crotch rocket up, sold the crotch rocket, pocketed some money, bought a cruiser, traded the cruiser for this Grom. Then my stepdaughter, her boyfriend, he wanted a Grom, so he got a Grom under her name, and they broke up, and I acquired that Grom. Then I sold that Grom, and that Grom ended up getting stolen and vandalized and trashed and totaled. But whatever, I have this Grom. It's Vader Black, original Vader Black Grom. I did get new plastics, OE plastics, because when I first got it, like, I guess the kid was rode it through the woods, so the Vader plastics that were on it, they have very fine scratches, and I like my stuff to look clean, so I bought all new plastics. That's the great part about this bike, parts are stupid cheap. So you crash this thing, it doesn't take much to fix it, but you crash it, it doesn't take much to total it either. Bride seat, very comfortable seat. If anybody knows, the Honda Grom stock seat really sucks when you ride it for a long period of time. Your ass really hurts, so one of the first things I recommend is upgrading the seat. Yeah, I don't know what kind of bars these are. I highly doubt they're Vortex, but we'll go with that. Vortex bars, sure. Then I got M4 D-badged exhaust with no silencer. I put a rear cargo rack on it because I was tired of blowing out my tail light. I blew out like 3 tail lights on this bike. I said enough is enough. Instead of getting a stunt cage, because I don't stunt this bike, but I do wheelie it. So I put one of these on there. They're cheap. It'll protect my tail light. Plus I can put a lunch box on it if I want. LED turns, cheap eBay turn signals, front and rear, smoked out ones. I did have a smoked tail light, as you can see, a little dirty. I had a smoked tail light on here that had integrated turn signals in it, but that didn't last long. The LED lights eventually just went out, so I put the original one, OE one, in, and I painted it with tinting, black tinting spray paint for lenses. Eliminated the chain guard because I think it looks way cleaner without a chain guard. It gives the bike more of a dirt bike type look. I got a big bore kit. I think it's a 170 or 173 big bore kit. It is Koso? Yeah, I think it's a Koso big bore kit. It's one of those brands. Yeah, so got Koso big bore kit, Koso cam. When I did that, I also replaced the timing chain with a brand new OEM one. I upgraded the oil pump to a Koso high output oil pump. What else did I do to this thing? A PCX 150 fuel injector. This is still 2-valve head, stock head, not ported or polished or anything like that, which is probably going to be my next upgrade, is upgrading the head. I'm going to stick with the 2-valve head, but I'm going to get the ported, polished, bigger valve head so it flows a little bit more. I also, it looks like an Öhlins rear shock, but it's not. It's just cheap eBay knockoff one. I don't see me spending $250 to $300 on a rear shock on a bike that I just beat the daylights out of. This does absolutely nothing. This is still oil reservoir, but this doesn't adjust nothing. You can adjust the coilover to tighten it up to your to the rider. What's it called? The rider weight. The stock one, it easily just bottoms out, and there's not much of an adjustment on it, if anything. I also have a larger rear sprocket, and I also have a smaller front sprocket. I don't remember exactly what tooth I went with, but it is geared for wheelies, that's for sure. This thing just likes to stand up, especially with that big bore kit. One problem I am having is when I went to go get this dyno to get tuned for the big bore kit, my clutch was slipping. So all he did was, since I put the 150 PCX 150 fuel injector in, which is a hell of a lot bigger than what comes stock on these, he just cut the fuel in half because it was super rich, and that's as far as he could get it because the clutch was slipping that bad. I put a new clutch in it, but I'm still having clutch problems. I think I might have to add another steel disc for it to get adjusted and grab correctly. I tried adjusting a basket in many different ways because there's only really one way you can put the clutch basket with the teeth to have it all the way down, and I tried every single way and it's still not right. So I think I'd have to add another metal disc to take up that gap. I would fire it up right now, but battery's stone cold dead. It's cold as shit in here. I don't have it on a battery tender. What else did I do to this little bike? Like I said, these bikes are stupid fun. I've had crotch rockets, cruisers, dirt bikes, and this bike is the funnest bike I've ever had. I highly recommend. getting yourself a grom. If you looking to have some fun with your friends, there's a huge following with these. The community is very nice. Whenever somebody sees another person riding a grom, they usually stop, talk to you, or wave or something. And this bike gets so much attention when you're going down the road, just from people just seeing. They don't know exactly what it is, and they're like, "What the heck is that? It's silly looking, and it looks so badass." So, yeah, I love this bike. Yes, future mods on this bike is going to be, obviously, like I said, the head. I'm going to swap out the head. I'm probably going to change the gearing back to stock, because this thing, the way it's geared right now, it wheelies like you wouldn't believe. Excuse me. And I don't have the top speed that I should have. Oh, the bike also has a Power Commander 5 and a Speedo healer in it, so my speedometer's on point. Whenever you change your gearing on these bikes, you have to correct the Speedo. If not, it's going to be completely off, and your mileage isn't going to be correct. This bike does have high mileage, but whatever, it don't mean nothing. Whenever somebody gets one of these bikes, their main goal is to basically have fun and beat the living daylights out of them. And stock, they take it like a champion, which in turn is one of the reasons why I did the big bore kit. When beginning of 2019 in the spring, yeah, it was around in the beginning, I just hopped on this thing, didn't even check the oil or anything, and I was just beating the daylights out of it for like a month. And the one day I was ripping on it, I was going up a steep hill on the street, and I didn't hear anything, but all of a sudden the bike just shut off. I'm like, what the hell, did the thing just grenade and I just didn't realize it? I got the bike started, and then it shut off again. Here, the piston was just locking up. I didn't check my oil, and my oil was super low, so when I was going up a hill, it wasn't sucking up any oil, and it locked up. Got the bike started, and I nursed it home, and the bike was making all kinds of crazy noises at that time, so I knew it was either I replaced the piston and jug, and I had to replace the piston and jug. If I was going to do that, I'm going to do a big bore kit. So that's what I did, big bore kit. Needless to say, you definitely make sure you check oil, especially with these things. Like I said, when you ride one of these, you are beating the daylights out of them, and they take it like a champion. Another future mod, what do I want to do? I want to put a legitimate fender eliminator. This is actually a bracket that comes stock on your Honda Grom. It's just been modified, so it just makes the fender eliminator. You can do it without buying an actual kit. It's just a cheap way of doing it. Yeah, I definitely need to get this tuned again. So when I did get it tuned, rough tuned, and he cut the fuel in half, it made around 14 horsepower when the clutch was slipping. So I'm guessing once I get this clutch fixed and dialed in, I'm thinking I'm going to see numbers around almost 16 horsepower. It doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're talking about a little bike like this, 16 horsepower, this thing boogies. And don't get me wrong, there's people out there putting CBR 300 motors in this thing and doing all kinds of crazy stuff to these bikes nowadays, and they're making them wicked fast. Do I want to do that? No. This thing is meant to be low budget, hop on it, and beat the daylights out of it and have fun. I'm not looking to spend a fortune on the bike and have something go wrong and be like, oh shit, I just spent like $1,800 on a motor swap and it broke. That'll be crappy. That'll be horrible. You can buy these things brand new for $4,000 out the door. So, but yeah, this is my Honda Grom. I love this thing. Just giving a little walk around. But yeah, I'm thinking about updating the headlight. Not the headlight itself, but the bulb. I might put that LED bulb in it, just to make it super bright and annoying. I did a airbox modification where you take inside the airbox, in front of the air cleaner, there's an extra screen. You eliminate that screen and you move the piping for the airbox around so you can get better airflow. Some people actually even put holes in the front here so you can get more air to go in. Or I was thinking maybe even getting an air intake, but an air intake, a legitimate one, is like $130, and it's this little intake. It's why? No. Why would I spend that much money on an intake? That's ridiculous. I want to do a shock mod. I weigh 180 pounds, so these front shocks, they bottom out pretty easy. So there's a mod that you can do where I think you put like washers or some kind of spacers up here to harden up the shock. It's a real cheap mod. It's easy to do. Plus, I do have to change out the fluid in the forks. It's due. I do have to. There's a rubber insulators inside here, right in here in your hub. Last time I took my back wheel off, I realized that my rubber insulators, they weren't connected. They're usually connected in twos, and they weren't connected no more, so it has a little bit more slop than normal. And plus, they're getting a little worn out from doing burnouts and wheelies. So I got to replace those. I have them somewhere. They were stupid cheap. They're like $5. Genuine Honda ones. But yeah, they have so many parts for this bike. Endless amount of things you can do. I don't know. I can't think of other mods I really want to do to this thing. I'm happy the way it is, really. Other than upgrading the head and getting the final tune. This thing's just so damn fun. Especially when you got a bunch of friends that have them. Little bikes like this, like the Z125 or the Grom itself. It doesn't matter what generation. They're just you guys all together riding, and it's just a blast. So, but yeah, here she is. Honda Grom. Who would have thought a little bike like this would be so much fun? It's basically a street legal pit bike. Alright, YouTube, that was my OG Honda Grom. Please subscribe, give this video a like, and heck, if this video gets a lot of likes, I'll do more videos on the Honda Grom. They're very popular. I don't see why not. But yeah, definitely please subscribe. I need them. Till next time, take it easy.